Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 241 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, where one of my co-hosts comes back a Super Bowl champion.
I'll give you guys a couple of guesses. It's not me. I'm Craig.
My name is also Craig. I don't know. I didn't come back a Super Bowl champion.
No, you're an Eagles fan.
My
You guys,
team did.
no,
Yes.
you guys won.
I thought I saw you coaching on the sideline, Craig. I saw you giving out some plays.
That's like one of my pet peeves when people are like on my team. You know what I mean? Or like act like they're on the team. No, I'm just
we won. We won.
We
Yeah.
won. Yeah, you didn't do anything. I sat on my couch.
But yeah, the
Right.
reason we didn't record last week because of the Super Bowl, and that's okay by me. Eagles destroyed the Chiefs. In case you are living under a rock
Right.
and don't watch sports, we understand. You're here for a gaming and movie podcast. So now
Yeah.
that you know, now you can pretend to tell all of your other nerd friends who don't know the score what the score was.
That was the sports ball score.
Sports
Yeah.
ball.
They scored many 3-pointers. But what is always a good 3-pointer or touchdown or a goal in any sport is the news.
Yeah.
Always scores the maximum amount of points. So let's get into it. A decent amount of it is kind of based off of Sony.
Yeah.
Last week we started off with PSN being down for a day. A day plus. Now I didn't tell you guys this. This might be my fault.
You restart the server room?
On Friday, I was hacked on my account. I got all of these messages about how stuff was being changed on my account. And as you guys know, like I have two-factor authentication on my stuff. This dude was able to log into my account without it. So I don't know what was going on at Sony for the time. But like I was being hacked. The guy did get a hold of my account, but luckily he didn't get away with anything or use any of the money I had into it. So I freezed my account and I made it difficult for them to do anything.
That's good. That could have been a different outcome. So I'm glad that there was no really damage, any damages to that for you, Bear.
Yeah, but do you guys think Sony probably should they come out and say this is what happened or this is why it was down? Because that's what seems to be pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Is that no one really knows why.
Oh, absolutely. What pisses the public off in any situation? Lack of transparency.
Yeah.
How many places or how many companies have we seen in the last decade get hacked and kind of admit it outwardly or it come out? I'm not even jumping to the retribution portion that other people are talking about, but it's lack of transparency. Like nobody wants to be in the dark, especially a lot of us, including the three of us here, put a lot of money, have our payment options connected to that account. The last, I don't know, umpteen years of progress and purchases and everything that we put into that. And say something. Just don't pretend it didn't exist. And it happened on Monster Wild weekend, which is the other reason why people were pissed. The beta couldn't even do that. So
yeah, they gave everybody like a couple days free of PlayStation Plus.
5 days of PlayStation Plus for free, which doesn't really make much sense. But like people still have I guess PTSD for lack of a better term.
Yep.
From that great outage during the PS3 era where we were down for I can't even remember how long it was down for.
It was a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it like a month or something?
I don't know why. Like it felt forever for me. I'm actually gonna look that up. How long was the PS?
The only thing I remember is that's how I got my copy of Infamous because they gave away the free games. And I think at the time I didn't even have my PS3 hooked up to the internet, so I hooked it up to download the free game.
Nice.
That's like all I did. But so to me, it wasn't as big of a deal because I was like 99% of the time on Xbox 360. So it didn't matter, but I feel like it was like at least a month.
It was 23 days.
There we go.
You know, it's funny as a kid because I was definitely a kid back then. Mm-hmm. I think I almost felt like it lasted 6 months.
Yeah,
that'll do it. I think as a kid, I was like, I can't get online. I can't do anything.
Well, like for anybody at home that's like maybe more of a casual gamer but still listens to us, like that's a pretty big deal besides the security issue. Like you can't download games. That's probably the one that we could all figure, like getting on the PlayStation Store and doing that. But also, if you're playing any game that has any semblance of needing to use online for updates or that type of thing, it doesn't have to be like a Call of Duty or Fortnite-esque game to need to use the internet. Like you can't even play those. Like I'm gonna be straight up with you. I was trying to play Zenless Zone Zero that day, and I couldn't even play that. Which is stuff you don't think about. You don't think every game needs the internet all the time. And this goes to the argument that we talk about once a month, at least on this platform, digital versus physical. Like when things, maybe not like a day like it happened recently, but maybe what if it was another 23-day situation? That's a little bit of
Then I
a strain.
laugh. I laugh at
Yeah.
all of them from my throne.
Right.
And I finally sell Balan Wonderland for $400.
I found out too
Yes.
that the portal didn't work either because I tried to
Yeah,
use it
correct.
and I was
Yep.
like, oh, I can't even remote play my PlayStation in the other room because
Yep.
PlayStation Network is down, which
Mhm.
means one, that sucks. That it shouldn't be the case, but
Yeah.
two, like that portal, the first thing I thought of was like, okay, so like 15 years from now, 20 years from now, that portal's probably worthless because you won't be able to connect to anything
Right.
because they're not
Yeah,
going
we'll
to
have to
support
see,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to see. But yeah, we'll get there. I guess we'll just roll right into the state of play then. We
Yeah.
did get a state of play
Yeah, let's do that.
now bigger announcements, and you guys can kind of go over any of the ones that I've missed. We did get the ending with Soros, a new
Yeah.
game made by Housemarque, the makers of Returnal. Immediately wanted to make me play Returnal again.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
We did get a new trailer for Hell Is Us, a Days
Yes.
Gone remaster
Let's
coming out
go.
April
Let's go.
25th. I was
Let's
very
go.
surprised that game is getting anything.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
I literally downloaded it last week to play because I've never beaten it. And I was like, oh, I guess I should just wait at this point.
Yeah, $10 upgrade, man. I already
Mm-hmm.
pre-ordered the upgrade, the $10 upgrade. I am super. That is a deep cut that has a
Mm-hmm.
huge cult following, and now people are wondering if we're gonna get a second one already because of that. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Like, of all the announcements, that was definitely one that surprised me. Based off of what we got leaked, Snake Eater Delta is coming out August 28th. That is
Yep.
close to my birthday. I will, after that day, be 21, as old as Snake in that game, so it all makes sense.
love it.
Borderlands 4 gets a firm release date, September 23rd. Then we had Sonic Crossroads is the new Sonic racing game beta. Onimusha is coming out 2026. We did get a new trailer for that. And the second one is kind of getting a slight remaster / re-release. That's coming out later this year as well. Now, before we get into any of the other stuff that I've missed, there is a Stellar Blade / Nikki, Nike Victory of the
Stop.
Goddess. There is a new mission and new costumes coming out. Just in case anybody thought I would forgot, I didn't.
Game of the year.
Borderlands 4 release date has kind of brought up a lot of questions about when GTA 6 is coming out.
Yep.
Every podcast I listen to is every game developer / that's thinking of releasing a game wants to be months away from GTA. So until GTA says anything about their release date, I don't think we're going to get release dates on any of the other games coming out this year, for being honest.
And also, Kotaku just posted October 28th as the release date for GTA 6.
Wow, is that like hot off the plate? Like within this last?
I just saw it right before we started. I don't know if it's
Holy cow.
accurate or not, but because obviously Rockstar hasn't said anything, but
Yeah.
that would make sense, right?
Yeah, but keep it in mind, if that is the case, at least Borderlands 4 gets out before
Right.
GTA 6. But I would be very hard pressed to find if any other major release would come out after that. It feels like no one wants to be anywhere near the release date of GTA 6 because of every gamer and non-gamer is going to buy a PS5 if you don't already have one to play it. So keep that in mind, everyone. If I really won't be surprised if we run into a situation where people can't find consoles like we did during
Yeah,
COVID, because people like want to play GTA 6 and it's the only game they play.
yeah. There's a game that does it. It's GTA 6.
Yeah.
For real.
That was all the news I wanted to go over. If there are any game
Oh,
announcements
yeah.
from the state of play and stuff like that that you guys want to go over, I will let you
Craig.
guys take over
Craig.
from here.
Craig.
Uh,
You know what
I mean,
I'm looking at?
are you talking about Midnight Walk?
No.
Are you talking about
Midnight Walk game
Onimushu?
looks good.
No.
Which one didn't he say that we talking about? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm talking about the Liza P DLC.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, the prequel. Did that seem standalone game or DLC? Was it DLC?
DLC. It says DLC and base game is required. It does say that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm looking on PlayStation's website. Prequel in the form of DLC. The only thing I don't know is, like, I never bought that game. I played it on Game Pass, and it's still on Game Pass. So either it's going to drop off of Game Pass, and they're going to do some sort of maybe like a Game of the Year edition, you know?
Yeah, that'd be kind of sleazy though to like.
Or do you just buy the DLC separate, or is it free? I don't think they've said if it's paid or free, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to.
I maybe we get something because there's an Xbox dev or indie. No, they probably wouldn't do it for an indie thing. But I know we have another Xbox thing coming, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. Maybe they don't announce it there. I don't know. I'll have to see because I'm in the same boat as you, Craig. I have a beaten saved data for Liza P on, but I played it on Game Pass.
I'm like halfway through New Game Plus on that because I went right back into it and got about halfway through. So yeah, that was the big one for me.
Yeah, the other big one for me, if I can jump back to it, I don't know. I think there's something there with Midnight Walk.
I thought Midnight Walk looked cool.
Yeah,
they showed like some first person shooting, not anything crazy, but like some utilizing there. I kind of want to see where the monsters are with that. The Onimushu, there was some cool stuff in that trailer with specifically using things around the environment. He like kicked a table up and held it. I'm interested to see how Souls-like is it, how not Souls-like is it. But also, Lost Soul Aside has intrigued me.
Tides of Annihilation
looks good.
Tides of Annihilation does look good. I don't know. This is some great DLC announcements, but the one thing we can talk about, which I guess is the elephant that wasn't in the room, which was basically everything that we were thinking about or trying to predict was not announced there in terms of solidified dates. No BioShock or BioShock related game in form of Judas. We didn't have Wolverine get announced. With a date, Yotai did not get a date. And that was what was making me wonder about the GTA date, because I was wondering if big games were probably being held off. And based off of this state of play, it looked like we had, okay, cool, a bunch of stuff going into May. It looked like a really blank June, July, because we get some games starting in August. So I didn't know if that, but I mean, Craig, you read something different now that Kotaku is
and I don't know, maybe they're wrong. You know, maybe they posted an error, but I mean, the end of the year is pretty blank. So that would make sense. I thought we would have got something Ghost of Yotai, like a date, or Death Stranding. Like that's still.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't get Death Stranding.
They're both just kind of sitting there as like, hey, they're coming, but no real dates. I don't know that I really care about that directive 80/20.
I'm back and forth on it.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up, my dad loves The Thing. So therefore, you love the things your parents love because they talk about it, they show you it as a kid. So like, I like The Thing aspect of it. It's kind of very reminiscent of that type of concept. But I'm back and forth on it. But it's dark pictures, so you're kind of making decisions and deciding whether you, I guess, save or let your teammates die. I don't know. I'm back and forth.
And the Mind's Eye, did that just look like a bunch of like cutscene QTE style game to you? like it didn't seem like it was
It
very
did.
playable. It almost
It did.
reminded me of like a oh my god, I'm blanking on the game, but where you were like the robots. Oh man, for the people who
Oh, Detroit
yeah,
Becoming
Detroit.
Human.
Like it reminded me
Mhm.
of that kind of
Yeah.
where it's like very minimal gameplay.
Right.
I don't know. There's something seemed weird about it. I think that was it. There was that, yeah, Lost Soul Aside seems
Uh,
fine.
Darwin's Paradox is interesting to me. It looks like kind of like an octopus, but reminds me of like Abe's Odyssey or Abe's Exodus. Like you got to get out of there before you get killed, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not going to be pre-ordering that game, but
Right.
I'm going to be watching to see when it's on discount or maybe see what some reviews are.
Right.
But after that,
Barry, are you buying Digimon Story? Time Stranger?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Digimon. I have
yes.
to see a little bit more gameplay.
Okay.
I'm not sure because I'm gonna talk about in games this week where I'm kind of at with games
Sure.
as of the moment.
Yeah, one last thing that I wanted to make sure that we really did is just give Dave the Diver some props. You know, the fact that they keep adding all of these different collaborations. They did one with Godzilla, they did one with Dredge, which was another awesome game. If you guys haven't had a chance to play that one, and they're doing these awesome collaborations, and they just added Ichiban to it, which is something that you can playfully add with the characters that they already have built into the game. So I don't know if I'm going to play it. I Even though I just am fresh off of beating Infinite Wealth, but I do like what they're doing, and I think that that's how you solidify a game like that. And I think they should keep going with thinking of who they can bring into the mix there. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all the announcements. We pretty much covered everything.
Perfect. So then we'll get into games and movie slash TV shows for the week. Games this week, guys. I'm in a funk.
Mm,
I am in the gaming
Tell
funk
us
right
about
now.
it. Tell us about it.
I hear you.
Instead of playing an actual game, I watched a 3-hour video explaining Death Stranding's entire story.
Oh
I don't need
God.
to play it anymore.
Love it.
You got it covered. I
Yeah.
saw you playing a lot of Marvel Rivals though.
Yeah, no, I'm playing with friends, of course, but when
Right.
I'm playing by myself, it's just I don't know, and I'll get into that a little bit. But what did you
Sure.
guys play?
Okay, so I'm gonna need your help when I talk about it. But I started playing Dynasty Warriors Origins, right? And then I just like you, Barry, I have been in a funk, but for me, the saving grace obviously has been PS2. So I added another completed game to the list this week, which was the original God of War. Played through that
Let's
game
go.
again. Yep.
Let's go. I am also in a funk, guys. We're all reacting to the funk three different ways. My
Mhm.
reaction is just starting a crap ton of games that I won't be able to finish.
That's my issue. That's what I'm afraid to do. I'll be honest.
So what I do have and what I can put on paper is I did beat Ninja Gaiden Black. That
Sweet.
is done. I'm stalling out on Dynasty Warriors. I'm going to try to finish that before I get some of the games for Feb and March. But I like started Phantom Pain again.
Oof. Wow. Deep cut.
I started Phantom Pain again, and it feels like a new game a week that I'm just like starting and kind of half playing. Dark Cloud 2 was last week.
Yep.
It's weird. So I can really talk about Ninja Gaiden Black, Phantom Pain. If you haven't played it by now, please play it. It'll get you ready for Snake Eater. But
Yeah.
I really the only game I could talk about is Ninja Gaiden Black.
All right, I'll let the guys that played games talk.
All right. So let me start with Dynasty Warriors. And Craig, this is why I need your help. All right. So I started playing it this week. And full disclosure, this past week I was like extremely sick, right? Like on the couch for like days.
Mhm.
I would say I'm probably like 85% now. Like I feel a lot better. But anyway, I started playing Dynasty Wars and I'm having a hard time deciding if because of the state of mind I was in this past week being sick, if it hit because it's just so mindless. Does that make sense? Where I'm just like, because it just seems like the most mindless game, but I just kept playing it because I needed something that was like not a whole lot of focus. I'm just mashing buttons.
Yeah.
Um, the the English voice acting is atrocious.
It is.
It's
It's pretty
so
bad.
bad. But like I was having a decent time just like clearing out an area, doing all the little like battles that take 30 seconds and then
Right.
leveling up your, like your sword, your spear, and then going and doing the main mission. Like the loop was satisfying for me, but I think I need to play it again this week when I'm not sick to see if I actually liked it or not, if that makes sense.
It does, and I'm interested to see your assessment because you're right. A lot of it is mindless. It's the game
Yeah.
that you could pick up after 10 hours, 9 hours of work and just kind of play. There's no intricate puzzles or anything like that. And I think, I don't know, some of the levels, they do things to keep things fresh.
Hmm.
There's some added nuances they add. Um, but it's I think you have a good assessment with it's just kind of making sure you mash the right button at the right time to do the max combo and I'm interested to see what your take is this week.
I mean, I've like I know we said it before, but like you and I both played a lot of Dynasty Warriors in the PS2 era, and like there's just something satisfying about like attacking and seeing like 80 people in the air because you just like smack them up in the air. Like that feels good. But I feel like this game will overstay its welcome. I feel like I don't know how long it is, but I feel like whatever length it is too long. Like this needs to be like a 5-hour game, right? And from what I've seen so far, it definitely seems like they're trying to pad it out.
Yeah, they are, and you can kind of tell by the fact that I haven't beat it yet because
Yeah.
I got to chapter 3
Mhm.
and it it just didn't hit the way chapter 1 and 2 did. I'm not going to even say it's repetitive, but it does kind of stall out a little bit. Like for me
Mhm.
to finish it, I'm going to like Ninja Gaiden Black. I didn't have to force myself to finish. Like I
Right.
kept wanting to play.
Right.
But I think Dynasty, it's and I didn't expect it to be some amazing game of the year
Sure.
type of thing. But I do applaud that they tried to make it fresh enough where it's not like run to this base, kill this person.
Yep.
Like they do, as you do some of the main story missions, they do try to make the levels a little bit more intricate or add things to make it not the same rhythm over and over and over again.
Yeah, like I appreciate like the little like hold L2 to see where like the little stuff's coming from that's making the people on the battlefield look like giants and then like breaking those. Like
Yeah.
I like that. That's different. Um but part of me is also like I should just play some of those PS2 ones again because I feel like that's where all the fun was.
Yeah.
Um
No, they were. If anything, play till you get to the first time you see Blue Boo because he's
okay.
showing up at some point.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Um,
I'm definitely going to still play it this week. I was having a hard time like am I enjoying it or am I just like I don't want to think right now and I just want to mash buttons. Like it's hard to tell.
the last thing I'll say too, and no offense to the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, like the actual like novel that brought these games to life, but I am s- I've played Dynasty Warriors so much that I am tired of playing the Yellow Rebellion. I
Yeah.
understand I understand the history, I understand the uprising, um, but you always every game or the games that I have played, you have to play through that to start getting to the South versus Lube, like that kind of thing. Like you have to play through to get to that, and I just want to start with the three kingdoms wanting to destroy each other.
Yeah.
So that also takes away from things. And something like Dynasty Warriors 4, you play 3 missions that have the Yellow Rebellion in it. In this game, it's dragged out and there's remnants. And I know that's more historically accurate, but
Right.
I just want to choose a side and fight the other 2 sides is what I want to do. So when I got to the point where I could do that, then all of a sudden I didn't want to play. That's my problem with the game.
Okay.
Um,
That's fair.
but
Uh and then so God of War. Uh Barry and Craig, both of you, like I am also in a funk. I've probably downloaded like at least 10 games in the past 2 weeks off of Game Pass, just like trying different things. Nothing's hitting. So I was scrolling through my insanely long list of PS2 games. And I was like, let me play God of War again. The first one, because it's been a minute. Number one, this is further cementing that I don't think anybody can tell me that PS2 is not the best console ever made. Like, it just is. You know what I mean? Like, it's got the best games. It really is. But anyway, God of War, I know there's been rumors of like remasters for God of War. I do think it's desperately needed because playing through it again, the game is phenomenal. Like, it doesn't overstay its welcome. The story is good. The combat is so satisfying. The puzzles are fun. It's just like a good like 5 or 6 hour campaign that you get to go through. And like I forgot so much about that first game. And playing through
Right.
it again was like, man, no wonder I hold this game so highly. But I didn't jump right into God of War 2. Like I'm trying to space it out. You know, I was like picking other games. Like I started Need for Speed Underground. I started NBA Street. I'm just like picking random games out here and finishing whatever. But um, I'm just trying to finish as many as I can. But my goodness, God of War. I know it's on PlayStation Plus. You can play it. But if that rumor is true of a remaster of like 1 and 2, man, that is just the most amazing thing that we need right now for sure.
You also reminded me that I saw some leak of they're working on multiple Final Fantasy remasters that got affirmed this week. I know we're
Mm-hmm.
past news, but like I think they were talking about 9 and Tactics, so something to be excited for if that's
Sure.
true. Uh, but I did something similar to you. I was like checking on Game Pass and I was like trying to find games that I could play. I played Citizen Sleeper for like
Hey, me
10
too.
minutes.
Hated it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I wasn't in the right mindset. It was right after like a 9 hour day at work or whatever, and I couldn't think, and it was all text bubbles and making decisions. Couldn't do that. But Ninja Gaiden 2, fun time.
Yeah.
Barry, I do share some of the things that you spoke of last week with the camera angle. I don't think Craig or I are denying that at all, and some of the rigidness at certain times. I don't know. There's something about just that ninja, about Ryu, just killing things, dismembering things. You throw more baddies at me. I'm trying to kill you. It was just hard enough. I didn't really die a lot, but I was so close to dying multiple times. I feel like they added some things maybe in this one to make it a little easier. I was never really out of health potions, but let's just say, guys, like because some of the clunkiness, I was down to my last health thing at during some of those boss battles. But I don't know, it just gets creepier and creepier at the end. You're running through walls that are of like made of living tissue, and the story didn't really matter at all.
No.
Like at all. But I got more excited for Ninja Gaiden 4 because you take something like as revered as the Ninja Gaiden series and you could see some of the clunkiness from 2. You add modernizing some of that, but still keeping what's there, and 4 is probably going to be fantastic when it comes out.
I
So
hope so.
it's a good game. It's very arcadey. If you are looking for something on Game Pass, those out there listening and watching, this is definitely a pick up and play. And just remember what the blocking button is, and that's really all you have to do. You don't have to master combos. I did not really do a good job mastering combos in that game, or I know that would have made it easier for me, but just dismember things and then make sure you kill the things you dismember because they are become more powerful after they lose an arm, you
Yep.
know. So but uh the bosses are cool. I don't know if there's any that are super memorable like a Souls game would be like, but
Yeah, they're pretty generic.
pretty generic. But it was fun. You were in
Hmm.
different locations, you know. You're in it was fun. It was a fun time. I enjoyed it. So happy I finished it.
Yeah. Marco, you finished a game in 2025. Look
I
at you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did. I'm super proud of myself. I'm super proud of myself. We'll see how many I actually do by the end.
Yep.
So yeah, like this week for me, as Craig can tell you, I played a lot of Marvel Rivals because it's just something that I can pick up and play without much needing to do anything. But yeah, like I'm stuck on what to play right now. I gave Metaphor the like I'm past the first, I guess, dungeon portion of things, and now I'm off to kind of off doing the other stuff. But like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because of how much like Persona 3 Reload burned me out. But like right now, like turn based is not what I want to play. You
Yeah.
know, it's
It's fair.
It's kind of crazy, and like I'm trying to play other games, trying to get on my PlayStation, play some of the other games, and I don't know. Just nothing is clicking. I don't know if I need to go back to the Kingdom Hearts well and
Ooh.
find my love for it in there, or I'll be honest, I got no clue
Do
because
you have any hope, like either one of you, do you have any hope for Avowed next week?
I sorry.
the reviews have me a little a little hesitant. I'm gonna try it, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, yeah.
That much at least is deserved, but I think more or less like I'm trying to decide at this point, am I getting Monster Hunter Wilds for PC or for PS5? That
Sure.
is
That's going
That's
to
a
be
good
what drags
problem.
you in, you
That's a
think?
good problem to have.
I need a problem. I need something to drag me
I
in at this
mean,
point.
I mean, if you need something, Barry, I mean, Kings Canyon's back in
Yeah,
Apex.
oh
You
boy.
could always join me on the dark side again.
Yeah, I'm already climbing the competitive ladder of rivals, and then I don't know if I need to get back to the competitive ladder
That's
in
fair.
Apex
That's
too.
fair.
I love that. I to answer your question, I am a little bit higher on Avowed than I was last month.
Me
I just
too.
saw a couple of people talking about it. I think it's really going to be I think it's going to be like the 11th game of a 10 game list for some people, maybe us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not going to we're not going to come back and say this is the best thing I've ever played.
Right.
But I thought I was going to play a half hour of it and stop, and I don't think I'm going to do that when it comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I'm probably going to give it, I'm going to say like at least 5 hours. At least. We'll see.
Yeah, we have to see how the combat hits. The combat is what's going to make or break that game, I think. And
Yeah.
we have to see what else comes with it and what kind of story beats it has. But I'm interested, but I saw a lot of good reviews and a lot of bad reviews. So this
Right.
Mm-hmm.
game will probably be pretty mixed once this all is said and done. But yeah, that's all we got. I found myself watching stuff more this week than anything
Oh, let's
else.
talk about the stuff we watched then.
I watched You're Cordially Invited.
Okay.
I finished Secret Level.
Okay.
Good.
Watched Wicked.
You're on a
Oh,
roll.
Craigie watched Wicked.
I also watched You're Cordially Invited. I watched The Fire Inside, and I watched Hard Eyes.
Okay. My wife and I have run into a really big you have a crap ton of TV to watch, so we really didn't get any movies down. I mean, I talked about School Spirits the last time we all met. We're still watching that. Love is Blind, I've talked about, I think, a couple of times on here, so I'm not going to bore us with that again. We did start Yellow Jackets, though. And I have a small recommendation that I'd like to start this with. I think if anybody at home has watched a little bit, even a little bit of SNL, I think you guys should hop on Peacock and check out some of the SNL stuff. It doesn't sound like something I would do a segment on for this, but my wife and I just finished like the 3 hour music um
Tribute.
dedication
Yeah.
tribute.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's great.
it was great. It was fantastic. Even if there was parts of it that didn't have the music you liked, like they had Arcade Fire out there, and I'm not necessarily an Arcade Fire fan, but they had so many other big names. I think y'all should check that out. They got a bunch of stuff on there. So, but yeah, Yellow Jackets is primarily what I watch. So I'll let you guys kind of take the helm today.
All right. So I'll start off with Wicked. I'm not too. I don't know much about musicals, but I know when I find them, I like them, and this one's no different. This one's fun to watch. I just enjoy the catchy songs.
Right.
You end up singing them in your head
Yep.
when you're bored when you're bored at work or bored doing
Yeah.
something, or you find yourself humming them, which is what I've constantly found myself doing as of late. Um, but yeah, I can see why this movie was met with such like fun and so much praise for it. It's a fun movie, and I got nothing against musicals. I didn't see this in theaters, but I liked some of the other musicals that came out during the COVID era. I know HBO Max had some of them, and this is no different. I liked Hamilton when I first watched it. I liked this. I think the other one was like On the Streets or Up in the Streets.
In the
I
Heights.
forget which one that. Huh? Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's not the streets. It's in the heights. Yeah.
It's in
the heights. Over the streets. In the heights.
Yeah, no, I really like this one. If I have to be honest, like I probably like this one the most. Maybe it's just
very
because
good.
I kind of like all of the fantasy stuff that they did with it. And to be honest, I don't know much about the Wizard of Oz. I didn't care.
That's fair.
Yeah, Barry, I'm glad you liked it. And now that you say that, I don't know. The first musical I've ever seen, I think, is Rent. So that has a close place to my heart because I like it was the first one I've seen. But I think this might be my favorite musical too. That note that Cynthia hits at the end of Defying Gravity actually gives me chills. It gives me still. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, a little late on it, a little late on the Wicked watched, but we did do that. Craig, you're cordially invited.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Netflix doing these kind of like weird comedy like wedding ones, because we also had the one with Jennifer
This was
Lopez.
Prime? No. This was on Amazon Prime.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Prime.
Yeah, you're good.
Prime. My apologies. Because they had the one with J-Lo, I
Yep.
think a year or two ago.
Yep.
And I find myself comparing it to this for whatever reason. I didn't mind the movie. I'll be honest. I didn't think it was as funny as I was hoping for.
Same.
Because it is Will Ferrell, and maybe it's just because they're just trying to play it safe on some of these. But when the comedy isn't hitting, you kind of hope something else will. I feel like the one J-Lo movie a couple years ago at least had a lot of action in it. So there was something, even though it might not have been funny, was something to like watch. But in this one, it's more or less just kind of the pettiness and audacity and craziness of a double booked wedding in a place that can't do it. So, and the pettiness, I guess.
Yeah, I really like Will Ferrell, but I think at this point, maybe like the Will Ferrell thing has kind of run its course a little bit, because like his style of comedy is great when it hits, but like this, I don't know, it was boring to me.
Yeah,
wasn't
we
it
haven't
like
hit it in a while.
No, we haven't. Like I always think of like Anchorman and Step Brothers, and it's just like every joke is just phenomenal. And this one, I watched it. I don't even think I maybe chuckled once or twice. I was like, okay.
You know, it was funny for me. Jimmy Tatro was like the funniest person in that movie, and I think I don't even think he spoke that much.
No,
like, to be honest, he had some really just like really dumb one-liners. I think, especially like during the whole crocodile thing. It's like I probably didn't need to do that. I just got the mix of saving life and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. This movie just wasn't as funny as I'd hoped. I saw Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon, and I was like, okay, this could be funny. It doesn't really tell you much about what I thought it was like their weddings, but no, it's their kids' weddings and sister wedding that you're trying to get through. And I get the whole like the one song that the Will Ferrell and the daughter sing. It's like I get the audacity. I think that was my favorite part of the movie, just because that was like funny. But I think other than that, it was only okay.
Yeah, it's fine. He's done worse movies, like Holmes, and the Sherlock Holmes movie he did was just the worst ever. So it's not like it's not a bad way to waste your time. I guess is probably the best way I could put it. It's fine.
Yeah, Secret Level on the other hand, it's kind of funny how like some of the episodes like I was not into at all.
Yep.
Like I wanted more of the Space Marine episode. I don't know why the Mega Man one was 5 minutes long.
I know.
The fact that it was so short.
It was so good though.
But there's a lot of cool stuff. Like it's funny because I binged all of this in a day. After starting the first 3, I just binged the rest. And it's like that final level I thought was cool. It is more or less a Sony ad, which I kind of found it funny for.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought some of the things they did were real cool. I liked the Pac-Man one. That was a completely different take on it, which I enjoyed. Yep. And some of like the classic ones I enjoyed, but like that Concorde one, I could not have given a crap about. It was so funny to me how it's like, man, here comes the Concorde one. It's like, oh, watch, I don't care about it. Like
just like the game.
It's
right.
So it's it's funny to me how, like, of course we got a Concord episode, but it didn't end up mounting to much. But I hope they continue to do more things, but maybe in maybe just more franchises we know. I didn't
Yeah.
mind the Armored Core one, but I just felt like it really landed flat
You think so?
after the whole fight sequence. And then they're all, like, "Oh, he's not like me. No one's like me." And then the voice in the head is like, "No one's like you." And then it kind of fades to black. I don't know. It was one of those things where I just thought it could have ended a lot better. Um, which is probably could be said for some of the other ones as well. But it's just too bad that the episodes I liked, I just wanted more of. I really did like I thought the D&D one was good, which is the
Yep.
first episode. But that Space Marine, like that sequence where they're facing that monster and it like slows down time and they're all bleeding from their eyes at this point, I just thought was so cool.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
I just wish I had more of it. To be honest, the game that I'm in a game funk, but I might just have to try and force my way through Space Marine again and just
Oh,
try
I
and
should
get
have
through that.
started that. Damn.
Yep.
I
Still
should have
time.
started that one.
We still got time before. I mean, well, we got Avowed this week, and then also Like a Dragon.
We do.
Mhm.
That's on Friday.
As on Friday.
So that'll take up a bunch of your time. But yeah. I think like Secret Level is so good because they're almost like little teasers where you're like, okay, so when do I get the full series of these? Like, when can I get a Warhammer animated series, please? I would take an Armored Core series
I would
with
take a
Keanu
Mega
Reeves.
Man. I would take a Mega Man and
Yep.
oh my god.
Yep. I would take a Pac-Man one. But which now we know was them setting up the game
Right.
coming out, which is cool.
Mhm.
But when I watched that and I was like, what is happening? This is a weird way to take Pac-Man. And then when we saw the trailer, I was like, okay, all right. Interesting. All right. So The Fire Inside, I watched that. Based on a true story of Clarissa Shields, the first female boxer from the US to win Olympic gold. She's it's basically just her whole story, her life story growing up in Flint, Michigan, using boxing as a way to escape her neighborhood, her family, all the issues she had at home. Didn't expect much of this. It kind of hadn't heard much about it, but I was like, oh, I'll watch it. It's very good, very touching. I am a sucker for like sports movies. I just love sports movies if they're done well.
Right.
And this one is done very well. And it's good to kind of, they show her at the end, like the real Clarissa, and the person acting, I have to look her up real quick. Ryan Destiny is phenomenal. She does a great job. So if you're into sports movies, I know we all are. So I would say you guys definitely check it out. But if you like sports style movies, even if you don't care about boxing, because like, to be honest, I don't really care about boxing that much. Other than like the Creed movies and Rocky movies. Like I'm a sucker for those, but go check that out. And then Hard Eyes. I was trying to think. The last time we had a horror movie based around Valentine's Day was probably what, My Bloody Valentine?
Yeah.
Which was like years and years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
This one's very, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Out of nowhere, because horror movies in January and February usually mean terrible. But the reason,
Night Swim.
Yeah, the reason it works is this movie is like 40% horror, 60% romantic comedy. It's perfect. Like the overarch in the movie is romantic comedy. That's it. But there is a killer on the loose who's named Hard Eyes, who kills couples, that kind of stuff. And there's a reason, obviously, they go into why as you get farther into it. But the main meat of the movie is the couple getting together, and like the comedy and between them is extremely well done. It's acted well, it's written well. The kills are cool. There's scenes with the killer that are just done in a funny way, but they work. I loved it. I thought it was great. Good way to start off horror this year for me. I don't think I've seen any other. Have I? I feel like I may have talked about other horror movies so far.
Did you see? You already saw Nosferatu, but that was last year, right?
I did, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I still have to watch. Oh man, Presence. Is that right? I don't know.
Oh, is that the one with the cool trailer?
Yeah,
Like,
it's filmed in the point of view of the ghost
yes,
haunting a
that's
house.
right.
I still have to watch that, but so far, like, this is a good start. I think you would enjoy it, Barry. Probably, maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to judge your take on horror movies nowadays. You've changed.
Right.
You
You
went
have.
from no at all costs to maybe. So
Yeah. Which is, that's a good
our influence is
transition.
slowly working on you a little bit. But
Right.
Craig, yes, you will enjoy it. I hope.
I'm glad you liked it because like that trailer made it look really good, and you
Hmm.
know how many times we've been disappointed by a horror trailer. So,
Nice one.
um, Yellow Jacket season 3. Not a lot I can say because only 2 episodes were released on Valentine's Day, but just kind of a plea to those of you who haven't started it to give it a watch. Again, the premise is a soccer team, a young ladies soccer team. They are traveling by plane to a match, and the plane goes down, and they essentially have to survive in the woods. A lot of people die in the actual crash. Only a handful of them actually survive, including their coach. But it's about survival of the team itself in this strange kind of weird, like Lost was weird wilderness. So it cuts between that perspective, and then it cuts also to the adults of the people who did survive in that wilderness. And the show does a great job of introducing new characters, showing like the whole entire team as they're doing things back in the day, and then all of a sudden they'll act like they'll show a new character in the present, and you're like, oh my god, they did survive. So I've been seeing them, acting, and like when they were young and trying to survive. And so it's good. This season kicked off pretty nicely. I think they're setting up a very interesting season, and we had to wait 2 years for this because of the strike. So definitely a long time to be missing a television show, or only for it to come back, and everybody jumped right back into their awesomeness. Melanie Linsky is still hilarious in it. They have a bunch of different things. Elijah Wood, who started as a recurring character in season 2, is very, very funny in this. And I think everybody should give it a whirl. But I'm only 2 episodes in, so I can't really say anything without spoiling either the prior seasons or
Mhm.
without having seen the full thing. But it's a fantastic show, guys.
All right, perfect. Anything I missed or anything else anybody wants to talk about?
No.
Cool. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening. We're leaving this week a little short just because, one, there isn't much that we played, and secondly, we are in the middle of a storm, so we have had the power cut out a couple times, and we're just trying to at least get something to you that I can at least somewhat edit and make sense of it. So we appreciate the support that you guys always give us. If you are listening on your podcast listening platform of choice, please make sure to like, leave a review, follow, whichever they have you do at this point, and make sure to share it with a friend or share it on your social media if you feel so inclined. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below on what you think we should have talked about or what we missed this week. I know we didn't watch Captain America yet. Just too busy at the movie theater to go and do so. So I'm not dealing with that mess. So
Fair.
we'll we'll have it eventually. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But thank you again, everybody, for your support, and we'll see you next time. And have a good week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.